Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me again.
We're looking at some of these matters. I mean, it just keeps unfolding, new twists on a regular basis, and now we see different groups other than the ones that people are used to over the pages of papers now emerging and running riots. I mean, we've seen the one in Nasarawa, Benue, also joining that list, and in spite of all that's happening, some still do think that we seem to be at least taking some right steps. Or you think that this is just spiraling beyond control?
Thank you, Timberlane. If you recall my previous interviews here, I did say categorically that government has taken a wrong step by granting amnesty in the first place, even to the first people who receive amnesty. Because when individuals take up arms against his fatherland, it's a serious crime against the fatherland. In as much as we can rationalize the fact that those people who have been cheated for years and all that, they deserve some leeway to get their acts together and all that. But other interviews I granted here, if you recall, what I said here, that even the one that is being contemplated now is even completely out of it. We don't have to think of amnesty for Boko Haram, for God's sake. That if any group just comes up anytime and be asking for, having perpetrated havoc and mayhem against his own people, and now be asking for government to give them amnesty and all that. I say many other groups are coming. If you recall the interview, you can replay anytime that I said many other groups. I say a time is coming that we will have Nigerian Association of Kidnappers, Nigerian Association of Armed Robbers, Nigerian Association of Rapers.
You think you'll be rapists?
Yeah, they will all come.
I truly remembered you saying that.
Yes.
But again,
yes.
What did you see that warranted that statement?
The wrong step the government is taking was what I saw. And I foresaw these things coming. Because, for instance, if you give amnesty to one group, what's stopping you from giving it to others? You see, because, for instance, the reason why these people are asking for amnesty, for instance, we all know, majority of Nigerians know that it's not even justifiable in the first place. And if government, for want of other things to do, or not being able to articulate its policy well, to be able to decipher what exactly is at stake here, and is now brandishing amnesty. Every other person will get amnesty. Don't be surprised if very soon some other groups will emerge from the southwest here, doing other things, to attract government attention. I did say this, and I'm still saying this now. Except the government must know how to get to the root of every matter. Not just what I see is cosmetic approach towards solving a cancerous problem. We know, every time now we talk about security. Now we are getting used to criminality. We are getting used to seeing corpses and dead bodies here and there. We don't see it as heinous crime anymore. We are getting used to all these things. It's very unfortunate. And it is because government has not taken a decisive step towards...
What would that decisive step be for you?
You see, okay, if we know those who are perpetrating this evil, for instance, fish them out, punish them, make them act as deterrent to others. It's because of lack of deterrent mechanism in this country. That is why we have large-scale corruption everywhere. Nobody is held as scapegoat to pay for the crime he has committed, and so others are enamored to get to office and do the same thing. If you did not punish the one who committed crime yesterday, what moral justification will you have to punish the one that will commit it tomorrow? So when there is no act to actually hold some people responsible for their misdeed, so you see a plethora of all these problems coming from every angle.
Kabiru Sokoto and some others are undergoing trial for this matter. So it's not that they completely just did not take anyone to court. So shouldn't that be some sort of process that is ongoing?
Chamberlain, how many people have died since the insurgents of Boko Haram? How many? If you take statistics of how many have died, and take statistics also of how many have been apprehended. And after apprehension, so how many of them have actually been committed to prison? How many of them are serving as deterrents? That's what we should be talking about. It's not a matter of holding Kabiru Sokoto or somebody. Even Kabiru Sokoto himself have some backers which the president himself alluded to in one of his speeches, that he has some Boko Haram sympathizers and elements in his own cabinet. So what is he doing about these people? What is he doing about those who are in the National Assembly? What are we talking about? Why do we deceive ourselves?
But they also go on a going trial, even the ones in the National Assembly, which you talked about.
If they go on trial, they should not go on trial in the secret. I mean, they should go on trial and let everybody see. It's not just going on trial, Chamberlain.
That's the rule of law.
Like I said. So for how long will the trial go? For how long do we continue to see somebody is going on trial? Eventually, events will overtake, some of the evidences and other things that we need to nail individuals.
In this case.
Pardon?
That's the judiciary.
Of course, we know that our judiciary has gone comatose. Wow. We know it. It's very unfortunate. And you see, in every democracy, if you talk about democracy without the rule of law, it's the rule of the jungle. As in fact, there is nothing to talk about a country practicing democracy without the rule of law. We all know today that there is nothing like the rule of law. You see, the position of the judge in those days used to be very, very sacrosanct. I mean, when you talk about judge, these are people that you say they live above board. But we know what's happening now. The court used to be the last hope of the common man. We know what happens now, that it's only the rich men that get justice. Now, I don't need to be reading out all these things. Look at a young man who stole